Hey there, listeners. So, we are listening today not one of my, it's actually one of our favorite band from Pakistan, call band. We listened to their track Jilawatan before from Pepsi Battle of the Bands. And this particular track would give you a different view of their music or different angle of their music, which they are not known for, by the way. They are known for doing hard rock stuff. But this track is something that pulls the string of my heart. And I think Haris would agree too. So, do you want to add something?
Yeah, it was our common favorite during our student days,
Yeah,
right? And we are just visiting those days again.
yeah, absolutely. So, without further ado, let's get started then.
Let's do it. Three, two, one, play.
मदहोश हूँ गुम हूँ कहीं आओ यहाँ यूं ही कभी खामोश हूँ बेकरार आओ यहाँ तुम एक बार आंसुओं में छुपे सारे गम जहाँ तेरी ना हो कम बस यही दुआ बिछड़ के भी अलग ना हो सका मुझसे तू तेरी याद है सांसों में रही हरदम कभी सोचा न था कि कभी वो कदम छोड़ जाएंगे मुझे
The use of tabla and keys is special.
Yes.
चुप मैं नहीं ना बेजुबान कुछ तो सुनो यूं ही सही कह दो जो तुम बस एक बार मेरे हो तुम यूं ही कभी आंसुओं में छुपे हैं सारे गम जहाँ तेरी ना हो कम बस यही दुआ बिछड़ के भी अलग ना हो सका मुझसे तू तेरी याद है सांसों में रही हरदम कभी सोचा न था कि कभी वो कदम छोड़ जाएंगे मुझे
So right after this solo, the tabla starts again,
Again, that is gold.
and a beautiful guitar solo. so beautiful.
आंसुओं में छुपे हैं सारे गम जो तेरी ना हो कम बस यही दुआ बिछड़ के भी अलग ना हो सका मुझसे तू तेरी याद है सांसों में रही हरदम कभी सोचा न था कि कभी वो कदम छोड़ जाएंगे मुझे छोड़ जाएंगे मुझे छोड़ के भी छोड़ जाएंगे मुझे
Trip to the memory lane,
And tripping. Tripping. One of the best intros. One of
hands
the
down,
most memorable,
hands
at least
down.
for me, one of
Yeah,
the most memorable intros. You give me 3 seconds of that intro, and I would know.
yeah,
Anytime,
absolutely.
anytime.
Yeah, I remember that this song came way back in early 2000s, and I used to dislike Call Band when I heard their first track called In Raasto Pe Chal Ke. That song was very hard rock stuff, borderline metal as well. And I didn't used to listen to that genre of music. I was more into melodious stuff. And I said, what kind of music this band is producing and what kind of singer is that? I didn't like Junaid
They
one bit.
came across very wannabe. At that time,
Yes,
they
at
came
that
across
time.
very wannabe,
At
right?
that time, yeah.
Yeah.
But then they released this entire album called Jilawatan, and I listened to this track, Bichar Ke Bhi, and he melted my heart. I couldn't realize his genius, the kind of the talent that he possesses. Junaid is an absolute gem when it comes to singing and performing, and very underappreciated. Very underappreciated. He is right there with very prominent singers of our industry, I would say, for me at least, because he has the power to do hard rock. Still has the power to do melodious track and pull your strings at the same time. And this song is clear example of that.
For me, it's a genius of Zulfi again.
Hmm.
But yeah, coming back to your previous point, when it came out, we were very young, very
Yeah,
very young, and I couldn't appreciate their music at that time.
yeah.
I just couldn't. I began to appreciate their music around 2009, 8.
Hmm.
This
Hmm.
is when I began to appreciate a lot of different sort of music in a very different light.
Yeah.
Uh, Previously, it wasn't the case. Yeah, in this particular song, apart from Junaid, so at that time during 2008 and 9, when I began to appreciate it, it was all about Junaid and his vocals.
Hmm.
But since then, nowadays, when I hear this track, it's all about Zulfi and the instrumentation.
Very true. Very true.
Uh, in this particular track, strategically, you would, I mean, in the beginning,
Hmm.
there's this beautiful guitar play. In the middle, the beautiful guitar strumming. I mean, the thing is that some part of the song are very simple
Hmm.
and some parts are very difficult to play.
Yeah.
So the intro and all, I mean, if I talk about myself, I tried to play and learn that intro. It was really difficult. The strumming part was very easy, and that's my personal anecdote. But yeah, I mean, the strumming is beautiful. The guitar solo, it feels like the guitar is crying.
Yeah.
The guitar itself is crying, right? The
Yeah.
Zulfi is making the guitar cry.
Yeah.
Right after the guitar solo, there's tabla, and in some specific parts of with some specific verses, there's tabla, which just accentuates what's being said. Right? It's a tragedy song. It's a song about separation.
Mm.
Right? A lost loved one, a loved one that is gone, and you know
Yeah.
the type. Yeah, so the strumming and then the guitar play, the individual clear notes come into play again, and every single part of the song can be enjoyed in entirety,
Yeah.
separately.
Completely agree. The beautiful part, the point that you made regarding the guitar solo and the tabla kicking in. I mean, this is song of separation, and what's interesting is that this song is written jointly by Zulfi and Junaid. And what's beautiful to me is that the lyrics tell the story and the music follows the story itself. The lyrics in the beginning are of a guy or a person who is in pain. He's expressing his pain, but in a very gentle, kind way or very mild way.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when the guitar solo kicks in, the word that you mentioned, the guitar is crying. It's after that guitar solo that Junaid takes it up a notch, and the lines as well. सदियों की है ये लगन कैसे कर दूं मैं ये खत्म. He's just like he has just had enough of it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's exactly like that. So the guy is just reminiscing about the past,
Yeah.
and in the beginning, he's just remembering those sweet, bittersweet moments, of being together and then getting separated. And as you said, the music does justice to that sentiment.
Yeah.
And once he kicks in the pain, the instrumentation follows. And exactly, this is music written by Zulfi, and this is why I mean, I have such huge respect for not only Zulfi but this particular track. In different part of your life,
Hmm.
you enjoy a certain track, certain piece of music differently,
Hmm.
right? And as I was saying that in the beginning, I had a different perception. Afterwards, I have a different perception. Nowadays, I have a completely different perception of this song.
Yeah.
10 years later, I might look at it very, very differently, right? So, and this is the genius of music. This is a 4 minute, a 6 minute song can tell you stories in so many ways, in so
100%.
many ways, in so many different ways. It affects you differently each time you listen to it.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, nothing
Why did
further
you pick
to
it? Why did you?
yeah,
Why did you?
I was coming to this particular point. Actually, I was um watching Junaid's recent tracks. He is doing some OSTs. And I was thinking now he's obviously not working as part of Call the Band. So he's doing some solo stuff here and there for the drama serials and all. Um, and this song came into my recommendation, and it instantly hit me that this was the song that I used to listen when we used to go on drives in Karachi. This
Yeah,
was one of those
yes.
tracks. Yeah, so I just couldn't help. I just shared it with you again.
So this reminds me that now that you mentioned OSTs, a thought just came into my mind that we should listen to Hum Suffer together.
Yeah, that's a beautiful OST.
That's a hard hitting track,
Yeah,
and the poetry is just brilliant as well. So we should sometime listen
definitely.
to Hum Suffer. Please let us know, everyone who's listening, that have you heard Hum Suffer?
Hmm.
OST from Hum Suffer drama where Krotal and Baloch QB sang it,
Yeah,
and that drama series stars Fawad Khan. If you have, let us know,
yeah,
and if you haven't, we will do our best to introduce you to it.
yeah, definitely. All right then. Thank you so much for listening it with us together, and do share your thoughts. How did you take this particular song? How did you feel about this particular song? And we'll see you on the next one. Until then, take care. Bye bye.